Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. If you want to have a productive, fulfilling, I'm going to use the word joyful. I never use that word, but it says a lot. Life. There's one thing that you really need to figure out, and that is the balance in your life. Excuse me. Think of a car. Car's going down the road. One wheel, one tire is a little bit off. Now the car's not running right. There's just either way, no matter where you go, it's going to be bouncing around. It's not going to be a smooth ride. That's your life. Now picture all those things in balance, your spirituality, your mindset, your health, your relationships, all of that. Now, if you're a woman, you got so much going on, working, taking care of the kids, hopefully taking care of yourself. Let's get you in balance. For that, you need a coach. You need somebody to walk that journey with you. I found her. She is Kaylani Weston, and she joins us today on the program. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Steve?
I'm good. This whole balance thing is critically important to make life the way it was meant to be. And I'm going to guess that your life at one point was out of balance, and that's where this coaching journey began. Tell us about your story.
Yeah. So as a new mom, I was overwhelmed and lonely, and we had just moved to a new place where we didn't know anybody. I didn't have any support, and I don't know, I was kind of in like a dark place, I guess, and felt very out of balance. And I realized I needed to just figure out what was going to help me feel joyful, like you said. So I really kind of dove into health and wellness, and that was a journey of several years. I struggled with infertility and miscarriage. And speaking of balance, imbalanced hormones when it comes to women can cause a lot of that. So I love that you brought that up. So I just dove into everything women's health. And after I learned as much as I could about that, I just felt like God was calling me to help other women with those things so that they could find that joy and balance and not feel burnt out and run down and just dragging, but to feel joyful and vibrant and confident.
We can only speak for what we know. And I, as a man, I get what you're saying. And I've noticed that, and I want your opinion on this, when you focus on your health, and a lot of us don't, we don't take care of ourselves. I'm full disclosure, 5 years ago, I would go to the gym, just signed up, brand new gym, huge, beautiful. It's literally, it's embarrassing, literally 1,000 feet from this building where I'm in. I would go to the gym, I would be on the treadmill, and 12 minutes in, 18 minutes in, I would start feeling guilty that you need to get to work. I mean, you got to make sure everything's okay. Everything was fine. But in my mind, it was like, you can't take a chance. I mean, you got to support a family, blah, 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 blah. I got off the treadmill and left. Like, what the heck? What am I doing? And I would do that on a regular basis. Does guilt come into play here a lot, especially with women?
I think, yeah, for sure. Especially for like high achievers or entrepreneurs. We just have all these big goals and we want to go, go, go. But at what cost? And it's funny because I actually had this conversation with my husband this morning because he started working out, and we've been married for 9 years, and I've been trying to get him to exercise for the whole time. And he said, man, why didn't you get me to do this earlier, as a joke? But he's like, I feel so good. But it was always a time factor, and it was always, I got to get to work. Oh, this person needs me, this. And when we don't, we can do so much better in our home life, in our work life, in our relationships, when we are taking care of our health. Even though we have that guilt, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. I found that it all works together better when we really choose to prioritize that.
Yeah, it's like the cliche, and it took me a long time to learn this, but when they say you need to love yourself before you can really love others, it's true.
Cliches are cliches for a reason, because they're true.
Yeah. Like all that stuff your parents used to tell you, and you're like, when you get older, it's like, they were right. Oh, all right. They were right about that. Do you find when it comes to working out, taking care of your health, that it exponentially speeds up? Like, for example, you start doing, some workouts, then it's like, wow, all right, this is good. This feels good. And then you just get into a rhythm, but you got to get over the speed bump. in the beginning to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And I talk about that a lot with my clients is what we want to do is develop a habit. Because in the beginning, it's hard. You have to find that motivation. You have to find that discipline. But once you get it, it's a habit and it's just what you do every day. And you don't even think about it anymore. It's just, oh yeah, I know I'm going to work out today because it's just a habit. I know I'm going to drink my water because it's a habit. You don't have to necessarily have that battle and that decision because the decision was already made.
I'm going to thank you for mentioning water because it was last night, 12 hours ago at this time, I was on the phone with somebody and I said, later in the day yesterday, I was just feeling off, like brain foggy. I was just like, and I thought about it. I'm like, you jerk, you didn't drink enough. So I even said last night that I'm going to line up because I have cases of water here in the office. I'm going to line up bottles of water and then I'm going to see, and thank you for the reminder because I forgot to do that because I just got here. It's so like hydration. It's like the simplest thing. Duh. What a difference that makes in our life, right?
In literally so many areas, your digestion, your immune system, your skin, your hair, everything.
The habit, that word is such a great word for everything that we're talking about because it seems that everything that we need to improve starts with a habit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually love the car analogy, how you said that the tire being off balance, because that's kind of, I have these different factors that I like to focus on. And it applies to men too, but I mostly focus on women because I'm a woman and I've had this experience. But we have nutrition, we have fitness, we have our mindset, and then we have sleep. And so all of these things kind of play into each other. And like you said, if one is off balance, the car is going to shake. And so I like to tell people, find what one you feel like you can master first and create a habit. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on my sleep. I'm going to focus on getting to bed on time, waking up on time. And once you get that down as a habit, then you feel much more empowered and confident moving on to exercise and so forth.
With the word habit, I've heard different things that you need at least 21 days to lock it in. Like what can you tell us there?
This is why I love the coaching world because I think every individual is different. And so maybe for one person, it takes 21 days. I know the research has said that. Sometimes the research says 90 days or 30 days. But as an individual, every person is different. We have different circumstances that pop up, different situations. And so I kind of have more of like I like to call it rigid flexibility approach, where you're going to get it done, but you're flexible with how that happens. And I think that can be the case with habits too. No, I don't work out at 6 a.m. every day. Do I wish I did? Yes. But I know I'm going to work out every day. It just might not be at the exact time. So that's why I like to kind of help my clients see is that there's some flexibility with their habits.
Tell me about spirituality. Is that part of what you help people in terms of balance with their life? And side note, disclaimer, a lot of times people hear the word spirituality and are like, oh, religion. No, that's not what we're talking about. It can be if you want it to be, but that's not essentially what it is.
Yeah. So I think that would kind of fall under like the mindset aspect of like kind of my framework that I use, because I do encourage meditation. And I also talk a lot about faith with my clients because I feel like that does play into what we do, whether it's you're trying to get pregnant or you're trying to balance your hormones or you're trying to just be happier and healthier and more energized. You have to really dive into yourself. And why do I want to do this? Am I believing in something bigger than myself? Do I believe that the universe can work for me or God is going to help me? Sorry, I am a mom. I do have a daughter here.
Oh, hello.
Go watch the movie, baby girl. I'll be right there. Yeah, you can do it.
She wants Starbucks. Oh, wait, that's my daughter. I just took her.
Here, go watch your movie. We're good.
You said believing in something bigger than yourself, and I truly believe that. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a God, whether it's this thing called the universe. My friend Trish has become very religious, so we have this conversation where I believe in, the universe and maybe a God. I'm figuring it out as I go along. And she goes, okay, well, who do you think created the universe? I'm like, here we go. But having that faith in something that's greater than you, that supports you. It's my belief that there's a thing called the universe. It wants the best thing for you. you got to do the right thing with it, but there's something else around us.
Yeah.
I know it sounds wonky for some, but once you sit with it, sometimes it comes clear. Right?
Yeah. And I firmly believe that like when we are working and doing things in our power, like whatever is within our power, that God, the universe, whatever is going to come and help us. It's like the laws of the universe. I don't know if you're familiar with those. Some people might have heard of them,
Sure.
But like what you put out, you get back.
Yep.
So like, for example, when I was going through infertility, I was struggling to get pregnant. I had a miscarriage that was pretty traumatic. And I was just like, okay, God, I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to show that I'm going to act. I'm going to change my nutrition. I'm going to focus on managing my stress. I'm going to take this supplement, whatever. But then the rest is up to you. And I teach that to my clients too, is that like, we do have to trust that it's working out for our good, but we also have to do our part. You can't just sit back and do nothing and think that you're going to, whatever your health goal is or whatever your business goal is, it's not just going to happen. You also have to do the work.
Yep. And even call it the law of attraction. Like you said, what you put out there, you get back. There are some people that take the victim mentality. And I just spoke with somebody last night who I recently met. I'm in a men's group. And he's like, oh, life's just not good. My job is this, is that. And I truly feel he's bringing it on to himself. If you have the mentality that you're never going to make money, it's just never going to make it up, never going to have that car. You're not. You asked for it. The cliche alert, be careful what you ask for. Your parents would tell you that. Well, that's exactly how that works. And same thing with gratitude. I'm big on that. Just being grateful for what you have. Keep a gratitude journal. And
I actually make my clients do that, is keep a gratitude journal and see what's going good in their life and also celebrate what they are doing good. So I say like every single day, celebrate 3 wins, whether it's I cleaned my car today, or I got the laundry done, or I had one-on-one focus time with one of my kids, like whatever it is, I got my workout in, I got my 100 ounces of water in, like those are all wins. And the more we celebrate those wins or the more we're grateful, guess what happens? We get more of that because our brain just it. So I also have them do that. And that's helping you create those habits and whatever goal it is, whether it's you want to lose weight, you want to have more energy, you want to make $1 million, whatever it is, when you celebrate the wins along the way, then you get more wins.
We don't do that, do we? We just don't. Like, we don't look at those little things as positive things. But I feel that once you work with somebody like yourself, you start focusing on your life a little more closely, that you see the beauty in those little things and they excite you. You could be having not a great day, but you could turn your head this way and think of one thing that you're doing this weekend, or I'm going home to cook a steak tonight, whatever it is. You're like, yeah, life is good. But you don't look at it that way when you're in the tornado of negativity, you're out of balance, all that other stuff. You don't see it. You don't see the little beauty.
It definitely takes a lot of intentionality and self-awareness, which are just skills that we have to develop. They're just like muscles. You have to build it. You got to build your self-awareness. You got to build your intentionality. You got to build your motivation and your discipline with practice.
So let's talk about one thing that I'm sure you need to build: resilience. I'm sure that comes up when you work with people. Just tell me about your resilience along the way and how that changed for you.
So I actually feel like resilience is kind of one of my superpowers. Not to like toot my own horn or anything, but I've been through some things that were hard, and I just pretty early on had to adopt the belief that life is happening for me, not to me. And that there's purpose behind everything that I have to go through, whether it's hard or whether it's fun and great. So I coach women who have, had miscarriages, who have been through infertility, who have struggles with their relationship, who really struggle with their confidence or their body image or whatever. And when we dive in and figure out what's going on the inside, like that spirituality that you mentioned, then we can build that resilience like the muscle, like I was saying, and find the good things, or hindsight's 20/20, right? Another cliche. So going back and be like, where did you have strength in the past? Can you draw from that to find strength in whatever it is that you're going through now, which will then kind of catapult you into whatever you're trying to work on, what goal you're working on, whether it's health or a business or family. So I think drawing from the past to create the future that you want is really powerful.
Isn't it amazing? Just like when we talked about working out, where you go to the gym, you go a couple of times, like, yeah, this is good. And then you start going and you're really feeling it. I feel it's the same thing with resilience. Once I don't call them mountains, just the speed bump. You go over this one, you go over that one, you went over that one. You come to a point where it's like, I got me. Like, I'm taking care of myself. I've got my back. Let's be honest. Nobody's got your back better than you. No matter who it is, you could be in the best relationship ever. It's you. But then once you realize that, like you just said, oh my gosh, I got through that. How did I do that? You pulled that one off too. That worked in your favor. It's like, and it's not, not being cocky or egotistical. You're just saying, wow. And I don't think we look at it that way. Like, if we're in such an Amazon world, press the button, it's here at 2:00. We look at this moment, but if you look back, let's say 6 months of what has happened in your life, you probably will see a pretty good progression. Even if you're not trying, you'll probably see some movement.
Yeah, for sure. And a concept that I like to focus on too, kind of going along with that, is focusing on what you can control. Because a lot of our stress and anxiety comes from worrying about things that we can't control.
Yep.
I can't control what my coworker does. I can't control, whatever. And so when we focus on what we can control, we feel a lot more empowered.
Sure.
So like, okay, I can exercise. That is within my control. I can drink my water. That is within my control, right?
If you remember, anyway.
You remember. You can, but I love what you did. You set your waters out. So that's like a really awesome, just small thing that's going to help you with that habit. Setting your workout clothes out, buying the veggies at the store and putting them right there on top of your, like in the top of your fridge, not in the bottom drawers where you never see them and they go bad, right? Like, you set them out where you can see them. That's totally within my control. And that's going to create those quick wins that you're going to then say, look, I did that. And so I'm going to do something else too, because I can celebrate that win. Like
you said with the habit, this is my guarantee and promise from this day forth. The moment I walk in here, I'm lining up bottles of water because I lose track. Yes, I have a big cup of coffee. It's all good. But then I forget I don't have anything else, and then you feel brain foggy later in the day and all that. But yeah, when you set the intention, you set the habit. I want to go to what you said before about controlling the things that are in your control. Isn't everything we do a choice? Everything. We have a choice in everything. And some people will say, well, you don't realize what happened to me, that they did this to me. When you still have a choice of how you're going to react. Yeah. I'm trying to teach this to my 6-year-old right now, because he says, you made me blank. You made me mad. You made me do this. You made me bring the Lego set. Like, dude, you have a choice. I did not make you do anything. You're choosing to be mad. And I think we, especially like, I don't know, we always want to place blame. But I think when we take ownership and take responsibility, it's so much more empowering, because we realize we are in way more control than we think. Yep. And when you feel like your life is out of control, which sometimes it gets that way as a mom, as an entrepreneur, or just a work, like an employee, anything, it feels like things are out of control. I say, okay, let's step back and take a look at what we can control, and then do it. Whether it's getting to bed or eating, like I said, water, exercise, going on a walk. Yep. Like, even if you're in an office all day, like maybe you can just take your phone call and walk around the office. That's totally within your control, getting your steps in, things like that. So yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm kind of laughing inside, because there's so many times where people trigger you, but you allowed it to happen. And, you just mentioned taking a walk. Grounding is so huge. Now I understand, cliche alert, I'm going back into nature. Now I get it. I never did. Yes, of course. I love the water. I love the woods and all of that. I never got it until I got it, and how beneficial it can be. Just be, going out into nature and feeling good about it.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I talk about with my clients too, is nervous system regulation, which grounding is a huge one for regulating your nervous system, because we get so caught up. We get so stressed. Like, are we not the most stressed people in the history of the earth right now? Like,
it's the worst.
Stress is, thank you, babe. Stress is really probably the biggest factor in the health issues that we deal with, whether it's hormones for women or anything, getting sick all the time. My friends who are way more stressed get sick way more. And it's just funny because I can see that. But if we can find ways to manage our stress, grounding is a great one. Going on walks, going outside, very simple things to help us manage that stress. A 5-minute meditation. I know people have all the feelings about meditation, but even just doing that is so huge for managing stress. And then our nervous system gets way more regulated and we can handle all the other things in our day way better.
And breathing.
Yes. Literally the easiest thing ever. Deep breathing, going on a walk, putting your feet in the grass without socks on. Just the smallest things make the biggest difference.
But we don't realize that because it seems so simple that it can't make a difference. But yes, it does. Scientifically proven. I'm in between houses. I sold a house, just not the right market now to buy another one.
Yeah,
I used to spend so much time in the backyard. I renovated it, made it tropical. I'd be in the dirt. I never wore shoes. My feet were the dirtiest you'll ever see. And I didn't care. But then when I sold it, then I realized, oh, that's what's missing. You were grounding. Yeah. So I kind of miss it, but just walk outside. You can still do those things. But everything we're talking about here, most people don't realize how it can support them and balance them. When somebody works with you, when a woman works with you, how does that start? She reaches out to you. Is it a free consult?
Yeah, I do a free consult. And so that's usually 30 minutes to an hour. And then we can kind of get a baseline of like, where you're at, what are your goals, what have you kind of been through, and what do you want in your life? That's one of the first questions that I ask is just, what do you want? And then we can go from there. I have one-on-one coaching packages where we do either phone calls or Zoom calls. That's my favorite way of working with people, just because I love relationships and I love building that relationship. I also have a course for women who are trying to get pregnant, who want the help to do it naturally rather than having to go through different fertility things.
Sure.
And I have group programs where we do fitness and nutrition and things like that. A big part of coaching, which I thought about this when you were saying it's the little things that we don't realize, is accountability. Because some people do realize they need to be doing it, but they don't have the accountability and they don't have the strength to be accountable to themselves yet. So having a coach can be really powerful to build that accountability muscle, like we were talking about, and just checking up, hey, how's your water? Hey, how's your workouts? Things like that. So that's something that I really think my clients value, is having someone to just make sure that they're staying on track.
Huge that is. I mentioned men's group. Why am I in a men's group? That's one of them. We have every week we have commitments and we have what's called dailies. So you're paired up with one man out of the group of 10 and we call each other and we'll look at our commitments. Like my commitment this week is one of many, working out 4 times, at least an hour pop minimum. So I'll get a phone call, from, Mike. He's my daily as of yesterday. First thing he's going to say, did you work out? I know.
Yes.
And
so good.
And if you don't, you have to do a cleanup at the end of the week. And that's, not call it a penalty, whatever. It could be, you have to do push-ups till exhaustion. You have to do burpees or whatever it might be.
Oh, this is so good.
And last night we have a wheel that we spin. It's on an app. And one of them was, do a lap dance. Like, how embarrassing. I'm not doing that. I'm working out. But the accountability is huge. How do we find you? How does a woman reach out to you?
I do most of my work on Instagram. So my handle is Kaylani Weston Wellness, super easy. And that's where I try to share recipes, just health tips to improve your hormones, to develop habits. That's where you can message me. You can also email me, hello@KaylaniWestonWellness.com. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the things, but Instagram is my favorite. So that's how people can find me and talk to me. We can set up a call or just get more information about what we do.
And Kaylani is Kloni.
Yes.
Gotcha. Love that name. Where'd you get it?
My mom just liked it. I wish I had a better story.
And when I saw it on the schedule today, I'm like, oh, maybe she's Hawaiian. No?
Most people say that. They're like, oh, I was expecting to see a Hawaiian person. When I saw your name, I'm like, no, I do like Hawaii, but I'm not Hawaiian.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. It's great. You're great. So focused, so grounded. And this is your purpose of helping other women with the accountability. And even in the fertility side, you don't have, a lot of times you don't have to go to a doctor. You need balance in your life. It all comes into play.
It's so true. And a lot of doctors, they're amazing. They know what they're doing in the doctor realm, but a lot of doctors don't know about nutrition. They don't really help you with stress management. They don't help you develop a good sleep schedule or manage your stress.
Yes.
Which I do. I always make my clients go to the doctor, get a physical, get your labs drawn. Let's see what's missing. And then we can really dive into what we're going to eat, what we're going to supplement, how we're going to adjust our schedules and our lives to improve your overall health. Not just your fitness, not just your nutrition. It's literally everything. It's a whole umbrella, which is why I'm like, yes, you do have to go to your doctor and get your labs done. But we're also going to focus on all of the holistic lifestyle factors that your doctor doesn't help you with.
Your doctor also doesn't have time. I'm sorry. They don't.
Exactly. It's so true.
I think the average now is 11 minutes, from the start to the finish, if you're lucky. Kaylani, great having you on here today. Wonderful talking with you, and just your energy is fantastic, and looking forward next time we get a chance to get together.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Same here. We'll be right back.
Do you struggle to balance your health with all your other responsibilities? Do you wish you had more energy to get through the day without feeling like you need a nap or caffeine? If you're constantly struggling to stay consistent or aren't seeing the results you want, this is the resource you need in your back pocket. I'm Kaylani, the force behind Weston Wellness Coaching. As a mom and business owner, I've been on that journey to optimize my own energy, health, and hormones, and now I'm here to guide you. We offer tailored one-on-one coaching as well as empowering group programs and specialty testing. Let's unlock your potential and create habits that lead to a vibrant life. Connect with me on Instagram at Kaylani Weston Wellness or my website, westonwellness.com.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.